In our previous video, we took a deep dive into the fabulous Rhode Island Red, marking the start of our thorough audit on how the American Poultry Association defines the grand champions of the poultry world. Today, in this second installment of our series, it's time to break down what was historically the very first purely American breed accepted into the rigorous original standard book dating back to 1874, the imposing and legendary Barred Plymouth Rock. We'll see exactly how to spot a true elite barnyard contender, a genuine powerhouse of feathers, and separate it from a simple industrial layer selected solely to meet a daily quota. We're going to uncover all the secrets in the strict standard of perfection of a true homestead jewel. Get ready to meet this feathered giant face to face. Let's begin. The official standard looks for a flock sire with a truly massive and perfectly symmetrical presence, showing off a barring pattern that demands absolute precision on every single feather. The body of an authentic Plymouth Rock rooster must exhibit a long, remarkably broad silhouette packed with an imposing and deep chest. We aren't talking about a rigid, lifeless block wandering around the pasture without any grace. This animal is a sweeping curve of dual-purpose muscle, built from the ground up to dominate the yard with pure physical presence. His top line is a vital feature when evaluating the overall quality of the bird. The back runs notably long and broad across its entire span, displaying a smooth and gradual concave sweep that rises cleanly into the imposing tail of this seasoned foundation rooster. That same tail can't just hang loose or sit any which way, since the carriage is absolutely key to the elegance and proud bearing of the main rooster guarding our flock. It must be carried moderately small and well spread, proving total stability and balance with every single step he takes across the uneven terrain. The rule demands it be carried at an exact 30-degree angle above horizontal in the males, giving them a proud posture that naturally earns respect from the hens. His wings are the perfect complement for this handsome bird. They're medium in size but grant an incredible firmness to his stance. They must be folded tight against the body, never dropping down. A rooster with dropped wings loses all visual authority and gets culled quickly by any experienced farmer. When we talk about the scale, the numbers must back up all that heavy and dominant stature demanded by the strict regulations for this heritage variety. The official weights for this heavy breed truly highlight their massive, dominant stature. A mature and fully developed cockbird needs to pin the needle at a formidable 9.5 pounds of pure, rock-solid muscle and dense feathering. Meanwhile, a young cockerel in full growth should hit 8 pounds flat, proving a vigorous bone development right from his early months on the homestead. The females of the flock also command respect at the weigh-in, with a mature hen reaching 7.5 pounds and a replacement pullet marking 6 pounds. These solid figures guarantee robust birds handling tough climates effortlessly. The real challenge for any dedicated breeder lies in perfecting the complicated plumage color, chasing that flawless parallel barring that defines this heritage powerhouse. Every single feather on the animal must cross alternating bars of intense black, crowned with a spectacular metallic sheen, followed immediately by bars of pure, stark white. In the specific case of the males, the strict rule dictates that these black and white lines must have the exact same width, holding a mathematical 50-50 proportion across his entire frame. This crisp balance of colors makes the rooster look visually much lighter and brighter than the hens walking right beside him. Nailing this uniformity is a real headache, but when a farmer stabilizes this genetics in his flock, the visual payoff is simply a living masterpiece walking across the green pastures. Of course, the rigor of this elite breeding program brings severe penalties for those animals that fail to deliver the required crispness in their feathers. The seasoned judges and expert farmers firmly punish any plumage that shows a smoky, dirty, or visually blurred tone running through the pattern. If the color lines don't run in a perfect parallel strike, the value of the specimen drops down to the dirt immediately. It's even worse if you find solid red or yellow feathers leaking into the black and white pattern, as this sparks an automatic elimination from the breeding pen. That color mix reveals a lack of purity in the genetics that simply has no place in a solid breeding program. An elite breeder fiercely guards the genetics of his foundation roosters to keep these faults out of the flock. Moving up to the head of the animal, we find the true reflection of the vitality and excellent health condition of the working male. Unlike other poultry varieties out there, the standard rulebook for the Barred Plymouth Rock recognizes only the single comb as the official headgear. This crown of flesh must be medium in size, feeling very firm to the touch, standing dead straight, and obligatorily featuring 5 well-defined points across its upper edge. The face needs to show smooth skin, boasting a vibrant and uniform red color that screams deep vigor from a mile away. The earlobes complete this visual package and must be strictly an intense red tone in their entirety. If a breeder spots the slightest white spot in that area, he must pull the animal straight out of the select pen. The legs and the beak complete the imposing outline of this feathered tank that dominates the open fields from dawn until dusk. The beak stands out with a beautiful bright yellow color, although some very subtle dark striping can show up near the base without causing a massive uproar. However, the legs are a non-negotiable indicator of the quality of the animal and its true adaptation to the rugged terrain. Their shanks must be completely clean of any feathers, stripped bare to help them move quickly and efficiently through the dense pasture grass. Furthermore, they need to exhibit a very intense and clean yellow color, with no faded scales that might suggest weakness or old age. A male with pale legs loses that crucial imposing presence, showing unacceptable wear for a flock sire. All of this imposing physical structure isn't just to win fancy ribbons at a poultry show, but rather a natural armor guaranteeing his strength and survival in the daily farm grind. That broad body, the thick, clean legs, paired with a constant look of high alert, turn the Plymouth Rock rooster into a relentless radar and an exceptional bodyguard for his hens. His massive weight of 9.5 pounds gives him a formidable striking force against ground predators trying to invade his territory during broad daylight. Additionally, that barred plumage acts as a visual shield, creating a natural camouflage effect under the shade of the brush that confuses hawks diving from above. Selecting a male based on these strict rules ensures you have an unbreakable protector leading your flock with great physical endurance. Taking care of these beautiful traits demands a proper environment and a breeder who's truly attentive to the actual needs of his pasture birds. When this great foundation rooster goes through his heavy molting season, his body needs an excellent source of protein so that his precious barred plumage grows back looking flawless. During this critical stage, the Plymouth Rock rooster shows off an enviable hardiness, holding his leadership spot without showing any fear or weakness to the rest of the flock. This isn't a fragile animal that needs to hide while changing his suit. He's a rugged field worker who handles the freezing winter temperatures with astonishing resilience. Understanding this great strength lets you appreciate what it means to have such a complete foundation rooster ready to pass these invaluable qualities down the line. Now that we have fully evaluated the undisputed boss of the yard, it's time to focus our attention on the hen, the true heart and soul of these demanding homestead setups. The female stands out immediately for her highly compact appearance and impressive color sharpness. Being penalized at heritage shows if she shows excessive fading from heavy laying. Regarding her silhouette, this bird maintains the massive body depth of the male, but sports a subtly more triangular shape towards the rear section. Her back is remarkably broad, and her abdomen is exceptionally deep, confirming her excellent natural capacity to lay premium-grade eggs constantly. A hen with a narrow abdomen lacks the internal space needed to be a consistent layer on the homestead. The visual aspect of the barred hen is truly fascinating, and presents a marked genetic contrast compared to her yard companion. In the females, the rulebook strictly dictates that the black bars must be slightly wider than the white bands, holding an exact proportion of 60% black against 40% pure white. This unique distribution gives the hen an overall look that is notably darker, deeper, and more contrasted than the bright rooster leading the group. These distinct lines must remain clean, crisp, and free of unwanted shades from the first feathers on the head down to the main tail feathers. Achieving this contrast requires years of rigorous selection and an uncompromising eye from a dedicated breeder who understands heritage genetics deeply. By carefully observing the head of our heritage hen, we look for those key details that scream vitality and excellent health from across the yard. The head features a single comb that must be small, of fine texture, strictly straight, and a bright red color indicating optimal blood flow. The earlobes are reduced in size and sport an intense red tone, leaving no room for white spots that warrant immediate disqualification. Regarding the balance of her rear structure, the tail is carried compactly, marking an exact 20-degree angle above the horizontal line. The main tail feathers directing her movements show beautifully defined black and white barring, keeping the dark contrast that protects the hen under the pasture shadows while she forages for bugs on the ground. The physical support of this hard-working hen rests on extremely robust legs and shanks, perfectly prepared to hold up her heavy frame while she scratches the earth relentlessly. Their legs must be completely clean of feathers and show a solid yellow base color. However, because of the strong natural dark coloring that defines this specific variety, the standard of perfection is a bit more understanding with the hens. Females are allowed to show slight dark spots on their legs, a trait unique to their genetics that would be heavily punished if it appeared on the foundation rooster. This tolerance recognizes the true nature of the bird. Understanding the dark pigment is necessary to maintain the intensity of that black plumage in future generations of pullets. Let's step away from the exhibition cages for a minute and walk out onto the real pasture, because ignoring how these birds truly behave in the day-to-day grind is a mistake a true enthusiast never makes. The behavior of these birds is phenomenal for daily handling and homestead management. The males are calm, peaceful, and incredibly easy to manage. Unlike other breeds that guard every corner with high aggression, the Plymouth Rock rooster is famous for being a docile and relaxed giant. The females are extremely tame, friendly, and easygoing in any environment you put them in. They tolerate confinement in tight spaces exceptionally well, but show their true productive potential when they can go out and forage freely, fully enjoying every pass through the grass. A fascinating detail every breeder needs to know to plan their season correctly is the natural growth rhythm of this heritage breed. These beautiful birds start laying a little later than the light breeds specialized in massive egg production. Generally, our barred hens begin their reproductive cycle between 22 and 24 weeks of age, meaning right around 5.5 to 6 months. This slight delay in collecting the first eggs isn't a genetic flaw, but a physical necessity of the breed. Their bone structure is massive and heavy, demanding much more time and vital minerals to solidify properly before diverting nutrients towards the constant formation of eggs. It's an indispensable time investment that guarantees you have an incredibly long-lived layer walking your fields. The sheer amount of eggs we collect from the nesting boxes will depend directly on the specific type of lineage we're raising in our coops. If we work with a pure exhibition or heritage line, production usually stabilizes between 160 and 200 eggs a year. This path always prioritizes the maintenance of that massive body size and that perfect barring we detailed earlier. On the other hand, if we bet on a commercial line designed specifically to squeeze out high yields, the birds can easily reach 260 to 280 eggs annually. However, nature always charges a toll for that accelerated increase in laying. These commercial birds notably reduce their body size, losing that heavy presence and lightening their original pattern entirely. When checking the nesting boxes every morning, the visual and productive reward is highly satisfying for any dedicated farmer aiming for quality. The Barred Plymouth Rock hen is known for depositing wonderfully consistent eggs of a size that classifies from large to jumbo on the demanding scale. This consistency is an absolute dream for anyone who appreciates top-quality eggs and true country tradition on their table. The shell presents a very smooth and highly resistant texture, exhibiting a firm color that varies from a fairly light brown to a very pleasing medium tone. We must avoid at all times the dark or chocolate tones that unequivocally belong to other types of poultry genetics. It's a classic egg that reflects true heritage style, highly valued by anyone who appreciates farm-fresh quality. To know everything about these formidable birds, it's indispensable to talk about how they feed to maintain their majestic standard on the farm. Being such large and heavy animals, they require a very good and constant portion of daily feed to look their absolute best. In total confinement, they consume approximately 120 to 130 pounds of concentrate annually per mature bird. However, the picture changes positively when we take advantage of their rustic nature and let them pasture out in the open air. In absolute freedom, they prove to be highly agile and extremely efficient foragers of grass and insects. This innate ability to take advantage of fresh forage lowers the dependence on artificial feeders, proving they are exceptional and self-sufficient birds. Another extraordinary trait that makes this heritage hen a true asset for a self-sustaining homestead is her natural maternal instinct. While highly commercial breeds have completely lost the desire to sit on a nest, the Barred Plymouth Rock retains a wonderful balance. They aren't overly aggressive broodies that stop laying constantly, but when they do decide to hatch a clutch, they transform into an absolute fortress of dedication. A mature hen can easily cover a large clutch of premium eggs thanks to her wide frame and deep chest. Once the chicks hatch, she becomes an uncompromising bodyguard, guiding her young through the tall grass and teaching them how to forage with incredible patience. Having her is like having a reliable built-in incubator raising tough birds. The Barred Plymouth Rock earned its prestigious reputation as the fundamental pillar of farms, seeking a genuine dual-purpose system without excuses. We aren't talking about a simple lawn ornament here, but a robust bird designed exclusively to deliver premium quality meat and baskets full of nutritious eggs all year round. Their natural resistance to harsh climates, added to an incredibly docile temperament that greatly facilitates daily handling, makes them the dream of any serious breeder. Maintaining these heritage lines demands true dedication and profound respect. Now it's your turn to take this passion out to the yard and raise exhibition-quality birds. Let me know down in the comments what fascinated you the most about this incredible standard, and if you already have the privilege of raising them. If you got value out of this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up so we can keep bringing you practical poultry advice. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.